What happens when 10 young women are taken from their island resort by a gang of violent criminals to be sold overseas to their client? They hatch an escape plan surrounded by desert and fighting for survival against traffickers. Do they have what it takes to survive? I'm Ali and this is BackAlly Horror, and I have been given early access to this film from Saban Films to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the movie Escape. Directed by Howard J. Ford, who is known for Distant Shadow in 2000, The Dead in 2010, The Dead 2 in 2013, and Never Let Go in 2015. It stars Sarah Alexandra Marks as Carla, Sophie Rankin as Lucy, Sean Cronin, and Lewis James as Jude. It was filmed in Tenerife in 2023 and is set to release March 15th for 2024. So we focus mainly on three young women in this film, which are Carla, a nurse, her friend Tamsin, a trainee veterinarian, and Lucy, who is a dancer. We see them get taken from their island resort by Jude, who is basically the lure, who is hired by Sean Cronin's character, who is the mob boss. We see them captured, taken to a villa in the middle of nowhere. In this villa, locked up in this basement, are 7 other women. Lucy and Carla are put in there with them, and Tamsin is taken to a room. We are unsure at this point why Tamsin is taken upstairs to this room and not with the other girls. The girls hatch a plan to try and escape from this basement, and are aware that they are surrounded by desert, so also know that they have to try and navigate getting out alive from these goons and this villa, and then also navigating the desert. They hatch this plan, and as this plan goes on, they manage to escape and they do some damage on the way. I won't say how many people escape or what happens, but some people escape and make it out to the desert. They are followed by some of the criminals and stuff goes down, and it's basically about whether or not they can survive criminals and then the desert itself. We see Lucy and Carla head back to the villa once escaping from the villa and the goons in the desert to go and rescue the rest of the women. And then things happen back at the villa, and then it's the end of the movie. Pretty much it, without giving away spoilers, a basic plot. Without giving much away for this film for a review, I will have to say that it starts pretty quickly, and the first opening scene lets you know what you're in for, which I like. And then, however, it seems to have a pacing issue. The story and the script seem to have an identity crisis. You have the first part of the film which lets you know what you're in for, and it's really good, it's really brutal, it's really quick, and I enjoyed it. And then we go off and it starts, there's music, and it's more like a sitcom intro, you know, like the intros you have for like CSI Miami and stuff. So it kind of takes the tone away. So there are moments when I'm pulled back into the movie, and the brutality of this movie is very good. You can clearly tell the director and everybody else involved really, really like the brutality of this film, and that is the key point of what they were going for. However, it is a bit let down by the fact that they use CGI blood spatter. So they have like really cool moments of fights, and you're like, yeah, get him, get him, get him, and then you see the CGI blood spatter, and you're like, oh. The acting was decent for me. There were girls that were better than others. For me, Sophie Rankin, who plays Lucy, she was the better one out of the main 3. She was the more consistent one. Carla's character, played by Sarah Alexandra Marks, she was good, but she had moments where she did lose me. Again, I think this is just the identity crisis of the script writing as well, because there were moments when we would have a heartfelt moment in the wrong time. Like there's a moment where Carla's character is talking about her tragic backstory, which we all know they're going to have, when they're hiding from criminals in the desert and they have to be quiet because the criminal is like really nearby. And I'm just like, this is the wrong time to be explaining your backstory about why you're going to make a decision that you're going to make in about 5 minutes. If we had seen this before, then maybe it would have worked. But overall, the timing, the consistencies of script just didn't work. But there was definitely potential in that film for me. And I think that's the main thing, is because I've seen films and you watch them and they don't have any potential. Even if you were to change the script or to change the acting, the story still doesn't work, or it just doesn't gel. With this one, if it was more cohesive in story and thematic moments, so there's meant to be on the edge of your seat moments and stuff like that, and it was taken out a bit by the music or just certain acting choices. And I think if it had been more cohesive and more structured, it would have been a better film. Now, even though it being a better film, I don't think it would have been like an A film, but it would have been one that I probably would have watched again. And it's very much, you know, I spit on your grave-esque vibes of that revenge, but with a modern twist, which is great. I really like the whole, we've got 10 women captured and I'm expecting them to scream, plead, beg, get on my nerves with the whole, I'm so scared. None of them did that. It was all right, we are strong, independent women, we are going to get out of this, let's work together, let's discuss how we got here, let's discuss things to see if we can work out links or how to, and they all find out that, you know, it was Jude that took them, and they can work out then how best to escape, and they all have roles to play, which is better than some of the old 70s and 80s movies that we used to get in regards to story. But then it's also taken out of that modernization with the thugs, because you have the very stereotypical gangster, you know, eye patches, scars, men in suits, and it's just the criminals for me weren't as good as they could have been. They weren't as modern as they could have been. So I think it lacked there. I did really like the cinematography of it all, the fact that it was shot on location in Tenerife. It's such a beautiful place, but it gives real authenticity to the film. So when they're running in the desert and you know they've got to try and escape, again, it looks real, it looks beautiful, even though it's not meant to look beautiful, but you are worried for them because you can see that there is nothing in the vicinity for them to have protection or shelter or safety. And it's nice to see that and not know that, oh, that's a backdrop or that's green screen. So it's nice that a small film like this got to go on location in Tenerife and film this. Overall, I think this movie worked, but it could have been better, and there was definitely potential there. And it's like that movie that where you bring your girls round for a drink and you just want a good movie where you can cheer at the screen. And this is a film that does that for me. Like, I find I Spit on Your Grave a little bit uncomfortable to watch sometimes, whereas this one, although it has the elements of obviously women being kidnapped and beaten and assaulted, and there's assumptions made or you know what's gonna happen, you don't see anything that's unnecessary to be seen. And I think that is very tastefully done, because you don't always need to see it in order to be like, right, we want these women to survive. They went through enough that made me want them to fight back and escape. So overall, I give this film a solid 5 out of 10. I definitely recommend it as a watch at least once, especially if you like revenge films. It's very good for that. I don't think there's much else I can say without spoiling anything, because there are details that I want to get into. Please do let me know what you think of it in the comments below and give me your thoughts and your opinions. Thank you to Saban Films for reaching out to me to collaborate and give me early access to this film. I appreciate the opportunity. It was a really fun collaboration. Thank you guys for watching this video, and until the next one, take care and stay horrid.